Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Lump Dog, your favorite fantasy football commissioner's favorite fantasy football commissioner, and I'm back with another PPH video commissioner message. Week number 8 of the 2021 season. Yada. Actually, it's week 7 of the 2020 season. That's this commissioner message. So, as always, before we get started, you want to go ahead, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification. Thank you for checking out the video. But show your favorite fantasy football commissioner's favorite fantasy football commissioner some love by hitting that like, hitting that subscribe, and helps out the channel, helps out the league more than you know. Really does. It really helps out more than you know. Again, like, subscribe, bell notification to get notified when new videos are uploaded. Alright, so anyway, unfortunately, y'all, I got some bad news for you. Cone's Corner is over. You might ask why. Why is Cone's Corner over? I can't really explain it to you. All the guy needed to do was show up. I did pretty much all the work for him. I filmed it. I recorded. I imported it into my computer. I edited it out the beginning of it, gave him an intro, but the guy just came unprepared, and I don't know, the last one with Jimmy just made him go over the top and decided to quit, and I guess this is his last year in PPH as well. Nothing new. This is, I think, his third time quitting, so I don't believe it, but he has been blocked on the PPH thread, so if you guys haven't seen Cone on the thread, it's because he has been removed from it. It has been a lot nicer place to be in the thread without all that whining and crying that Cone does. He does do a lot of whining. He does do a lot of crying, as you can probably tell by Cone's Corner the last few weeks. It only lasted 3 weeks, man. He didn't come prepared in the last one, and really just can't even accept the praise that he gets for it. So, unfortunately, Cone's Corner is dead, and last week was the last week of Cone's Corner. I do apologize for that to all my viral viewers and to the PPH members who really enjoyed Cone's Corner and thinking it was the glue that helped out the commissioner message, because I know they don't like this commissioner message. So, because Cone's Corner is dead, I'm going to have to come up with a new shtick, a Call Lumpy Lindell type thing, something else that's going to have to be fill that void that is Cone's Corner. I am trying to work out some, those of you that are interested, some, Skype video interviews or something. I can put those on here. I know my recording hours don't fit everyone's work schedule, but I am willing to work with you and maybe do some Skype IT calls and record those and get you on the commission message and get a little interview and how you guys feel about different subject matters, so give me a holla if you like that, and I know some of you aren't as technically advanced as others, but I'd be willing to help you guys out and getting that all set up. The other thing that we need to discuss here today is the inactive player rule. So, we have a rule in our league that you are not allowed to start inactive players. If you do start an inactive player, that is a $20 fine paid to the weekly winner. So this past weekend, there were a couple players, Ramon Stevenson from the Patriots, who was a healthy scratch, and then there was Darren Waller, who was an injured inactive player. So, Ramon Stevenson, I guess on the bottom, let me guys show you here. Let me go to the scores here. That's going to help bring up the page, I think. Is it going to bring it up here? Oh, it's only going to share the... Damn it. Okay. Okay, it does show that. Okay, good. Alright, so let's go ahead and let's go into the roster page. Let me show you here. So at the bottom of the roster page, there's a legend here. And that's right here. Shows you. So the red cross is for injury. We have that for putting players on your IR. The S is for suspended. That means if a player's been suspended. Obviously a little sticky note for player news, a little arrow up. There's a hot player, a little down arrow. And then there's this icon down here for an inactive player. And let me see. Maybe I can highlight it. Maybe show up a little bit better in the video. Probably not. But it's a little gray and it has like a little minus sign, I guess, on it. I've never seen this icon used in any time that I recall ever checking a player's roster or anything, an inactive player. So anyway, we had Jimbo, the haters, have Ramon Stevenson on, and he was going to start him. And let me go back to the sports desk here. I feel a little bit more comfortable explaining it here. So he had Ramon Stevenson, and he was on the inactive report. And let's go back here. Let me show you guys, too, the inactive report, because this is really easy to check, man. This is real simple to check on the home page of the website here. You just can go over here. Now, it's a little buried because of some posts and some trades and everything else that have happened. But once it loads, so there we go, it's loaded. So if you come down here, there's the waiver report. Here's the recap. Now, why I posted like this every story? Usually it's just one link. I don't know. So CBS having some issues here. I don't need that. So we keep scrolling down, keep scrolling. So there's the inactives for the afternoon game. And then here we go. Week 7 inactive report posted at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Ramon Stevenson is on it, meaning he's a healthy scratch. He's a healthy guy, doesn't have a red cross, but he's going to be inactive. So that icon didn't show up for whatever reason. I don't know. I've never seen that icon. I don't think CBS even uses that icon. I think it's something that's probably left over from their legacy system that they've overlooked and they didn't remove it. Or like if someone is deemed inactive on like a Tuesday, like a healthy inactive player on Tuesday. I don't know how that would ever happen, but if that were to happen, maybe they use it then. I don't know, but I've never seen it. So Jimbo, ends up not seeing this icon, and when he's checking his lineup, it's supposedly 9:30 in the morning, and doesn't remove Ramon Stevenson from his lineup. So he ends up starting an inactive player. I fine him because that's the rule that we've passed. So he starts complaining and bitching about how that icon isn't there, yada, 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 and, that he doesn't feel like he should be fine. So I go, okay, fine. Let me email CBS and let me see what they have to say. So I email CBS saying, hey, what's going on? Ramon Stevenson, what's going on with this inactive player icon? He didn't have it. Yeah, what was up? And they say, well, it was extremely late game time decision, so that icon wasn't used. We're sorry for the inconvenience. So that didn't make much sense to me. I was like, what? Extremely late? He was on the inactive report at 9:30 like everybody else is, right? So even if you're injured, that inactive report, that tells you who's playing and who's not. There aren't double inactive reports. So I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense, CBS. Like, what's going on? Like, inactive. I showed him a screenshot. He's on the inactive list, and I haven't received a response yet, but I pushed back on them. And I also asked him, too, in my response, I was like, well, when does this icon show up? When would I expect to see this icon show up on an inactive player, right? Like, when am I supposed to see this icon show up? Because I don't ever recall seeing it. So I'm waiting on that response. But anyway, I tell Jimmy, hey, they gave me some BS answer that it was extremely late. But that's a bunch of BS because he's on the inactive report. But Jimmy goes, oh, well, I don't check the inactive report. That's your job as commissioner. I don't check the inactive report. Unfortunately, well, that's the report that shows if you have players that are inactive that are healthy scratches. So it's kind of your job as a owner to check the inactive report, or at least understand if your player is going, especially if we have a rule like that, right? It's not just isn't just injured inactive players, but any inactive player. You got to fill your lineup. You can't have an inactive player. That's the rule. That's the personal responsibility that you need to take as an owner to make sure your player isn't on that inactive report and that he's going to play. So he's fighting the fine. I'm saying the fine stands. I think only 2 people have weighed in, and Britt and Zach said that he shouldn't be fined. I don't know why they would say that. Makes no sense. Other than they start trying to say it's tyranny. I'm like, what tyranny? It's just rules that have been passed, and I'm enforcing the rule that you guys wanted passed, that you voted on. So if we are going to take away the fine for James on that one, I have to understand then what is the rule and what is the criteria for being fined on that rule. Is it only injured players? Healthy scratches are fine. You're allowed to start a healthy injured, but if they're injured, then inactive because they have a red cross and not that inactive icon, and then that makes it not okay. So if we're going to reverse the fine, then we got to get rid of the rule because there's no way for me to enforce it. There's just no way. I mean, I don't know what else I can do. I look at the inactive report. The guy says he was not active and got a 0, and you get fined. That's the way it works. So maybe something we need to talk about in the off season. If it's that much of a problem for everybody, then chime up. I'm willing to reverse the fine, but if I'm reversing his fine, then I'm reversing Slow's fine because he didn't have the icon. I'm reversing the fine I paid for James 2 weeks ago with Chris Carson because I missed that he was inactive because he didn't have the icon on him. We're going to reverse the other one. I think there was someone else, I can't remember off the top of my head, they got an inactive player because he didn't have the icon. So unless you want all these fines reversed, I'd say we keep it as is and we move forward with the rule as is. And now hard lesson to learn, $20 lesson to learn, that you as an owner need to make sure you're checking that inactive report. And I just showed you how easy it is to check on that homepage on the website at 9:30 in the morning. Just check to see if your guy is listed on there, and if he is, get him out of your lineup. All right, so that's that. That's long but that's that. That's the way that works. There it is on the homepage. Make sure you get your inactive checks in the morning. So good to know. All right, so anyway, let's go ahead and let's get into last week's scores. Back to this screen here. Again, took a brutal loss last week. I don't even want to go over it. But I'm going to because that's my job and I do my job for the league. So here's week 8. We're going to week 7. So here we go. Week 7. Not going to start on my game, even though you'll see it first. It is a brutal loss, but all right, here we go. So in our first game, we had Return to Greatness take out Just My Luck, 114 to 106.8. Return to Greatness have now won 4 in a row, one of the hotter teams in the league. Jalen Hurts with 40.7. Man, he kind of the garbage time guy, just in the second half guy. He'll putz around for the first half, and the second half he seems to come alive. Jonathan Taylor with 15, 11.9 from Mixon, 12.1 from Cordell. And then that's really about it, but enough to get it by. 114 got by Just My Luck. Just My Luck went with Mac Jones, which was a good start with 44.6, 13.9 from Kenyon Drake, and then 16 from the Colts D, which is weird that he would start the Colts D against the Niners, but I guess he is a Niner fan, and he would know that you would want to start the Colts D against the Niners because they are turnover and they give up sacks. So, but wasn't good enough for him. He ends up starting falling to 3-4, and Return to Greatness improves to 4-3. All right, in the next game we got the Mollywops got taken out by Rick and Morty's TDs. Finally, no more. We have no more undefeated teams. They have all been defeated. Everyone has a loss now. So Rick and Morty's TDs led by Kyle Murray with 42.1. DeAndre Swift, man, 21.4. Got to be one of the picks of the draft, man. I did not think DeAndre Swift would be doing what he's been doing on the Lions. So props to him for that pick. Devontae Adams with 13.6. Ain't got it with him this week, so we'll see how he can rebound. Keeps starting Brandon Ayuk, man. He's a Niner fan too. Really believes in him, but only got that 0.9, so not even a point. Uzama, man, with 21.9, man. Lost Gronkowski and just picks up Uzama, and ever since he's been blowing up. So good pickup there. And that was enough to get him 127.4 and get the W and take out our last undefeated team. Patrick Mahomes there with only 18.1 from the Mollywops, 12.4 from Connor, 18.1 from Godwin, and that was really all there was to say about that. So as Mahomes go is how the Mollywops go. he takes his first loss of the week. Let's see how he bounces back in week 8 and falls to 6-1. And Rick and Morty's TDs improves to 5-2. All right, in the next game, we had the Juggernauts take out the Brewdogs, 127.7 to 83.7. Is it me, or do everyone have a feeling that Dare got a little too big for his britches after that 5-0 start that he got? Because he's lost his last 2 in a row now. So was he a little bit too big for his britches, thinking that, Tyler Lockett was going to keep putting up 20-something points a week, that Tom Brady was going to continue to get him like 50 or 60 points? Well, he got 45 this week, so not that bad. But, yeah, we think that Brady's going to keep doing that. But, yeah, man, some bad pickups, too, on his point, thinking that Josh Gordon and Peoples-Jones were really going to be anything. He keeps so 2 zeros in there is going to really hurt. And then putting up an 80 spot really hurts too, because he was one of the points leaders, so that hurt him. But 45.1 from Brady, Le'Veon Bell, and Michelle. 0.5, 0.4. Ouch. I mean, from 4 players, didn't even get a point. Didn't even get 1 point out of 4 guys. So that's really led to his downfall there. So 13.5 from that Young Ho, and then 10 from the Bengals D. Falls to 5-2. Juggernauts improves to 3-4, won in 3 games in a row now after starting off 0-4. Matt Ryan with 39.6. Derrick Henry with 16.7. 11.3 from DeAndre Hopkins. 12.6 from Booker. And then 23 from the Bucks D. Really, put him over the top there. 127.7 gets him the win and improves to 3-4, putting himself right back in the mix. Patty Whack, our weekly winner, congratulations, 2 weeks in a row now, so props to him for that. Takes the win over the basket of deplorables, 137.8 to 87.6. Jameis Winston, bye week there for Herbert, so 32.2. Damian Harris with 24.3. And that was really about it, man. Mon St. Brown, he zooted up. He just didn't get nothing. So, all right, Patty's Playboys with 137.8 improves to 4-3. Aaron Rodgers with 47.1, 25.6 from Mike Evans. Jamar Chase with 31.1. That's what really did it for him. So, not much else going on his squad, but enough to get that 137.8 and get the W over the basket of deplorables, improving to 4-3. Basket of deplorables falling to 3-4. All right, in the next game, we had the 289ers take out the Flat Earth Conspiracy, 104.1 to 84.1. Flat Earth Conspiracy had a good pickup there with Tonga Valoa, Tua with 50 points, A.J. Dillon with negative 2.2. That's kind of funny. Waller, again, inactive, so he got fined for that. 10 points from Gay, and that really only couldn't get 85 points. He's been scoring pretty well all season, so falling to 84 definitely during your bye week kind of hurts a little bit, but, maybe he bounces back. 289ers gets that dub. Darnold, really, I don't know how you can keep rolling with him, man. He's droppable at this point. Kamara with 24.9, 14.5 from Gesicki, and 11.5 from Bullock, and then 10 from the Saints D. Barely breaks 100. Should get the loss when that, but you know what? When you play in an 84-point spot, you get the dub. So good job there. You're still keeping yourself alive, improving to 2-5, and Flat Earth Conspiracy falling to 1-6. All right, in the next game, we had the JM Flapjackers take out the Haters, 120.6 to 86.6. Haters, 41.4 from Carr. Big goose egg from the inactive Stevenson. 12.3 from Tanyan and 13 from the Patriots D. Matt Stafford, 53.4, really starting to tear it up there. 15 from Fournette, 12.8 from Jacobs, 19.2 from McLaren, and that was really all about that on the squad, but it was good enough to improve to 4-3. Haters falls to 2-5. And in the heartbreak of the week, losing to the Stains, man, 131.6 to 130.6, 1 point difference. God, I didn't start Burrow. It was going pretty good there in the beginning with Tannehill. Just Kansas City couldn't make a game of it, so it just ended up the game script didn't play in my favor in that Kansas City game. Didn't need to throw the ball and didn't need to try to score points. And then Burrow, I had on my bench, blows up for like 56, 400 yards and 3 touchdowns. A lot of different things, but when you lose by 1 point. So anyway, Tannehill with 36.6. Mitchell, again, showing he's the number 1 running back in San Francisco, as I said after I picked him up in week 1. Not after the waivers, before the game started in week 1. So 17.7, the number 1 running back. Antonio Brown, AJ Brown with 20.3, 17.6 for Metcalf. That's the one that broke my heart, I guess. Because he started off like the first 3 minutes of the game, had an 84-yard touchdown. Brought me all the way back. I was only down by 2 points after that, and he couldn't get it done. So my Monday Night Magic is over. I was a king for about 3 years there, 2.5, 3 years, and I guess it's done. Kyle Pitts was 17.3, and then 10 from the Raiders D. Dirty High T, Britt with some good lineup decisions here. Bridgewater with 28, got pumped by Deontay Johnson, running back from Cleveland. Picked him up on the waiver wire last week. Started him 23.8, pumped my suckhole. So good pickup and start there, Britt. 13.7 from Gaskin. 28.6 from Cooper Kupp. Man, the guy is just on a tear. Who would have thought he would be the number 1 receiver? I'm almost the number 1 player, other than our quarterback scoring, but out of all running backs and receivers, I think he's the number 1 guy. And tight ends. Nick Folk with 12.8. So there you go. You got the win. 31.6 to 130.6 by 1 freaking point. I fall to 3-4, and Dirty High T improves to 4-3. Right back in the mix there. Okay. All right, man. So there you go. There was the Commish message. That was pretty much everything that happened in the league. I pulled off some trades early this week. I just pulled off traded Michael Carter, running back for the Jets, for Higgins and Jeff Wilson, since I have Elijah Mitchell. I think when Jeff Wilson gets back, he'll be the backup to Mitchell more than Hasty, or it'll be a 3-person. Obviously, it looks like Simmons is out. Trevor Simmons or Simeon, whatever it is, he's gone. He don't look like he's going to get worked into the mix at all. So it's JaMychal Hasty and Elijah Mitchell, and then I guess a little bit of Jeff Wilson will get sprinkled in once he gets back. So, but I got Higgins to go with Burrow. So pulled off a trade there. Another trade we had early this week. Haters trades away Miles Sanders for AJ Dillon, which is really curious to me why he would make that trade. I offered him Kyle Pitts last week for Miles Sanders and said he couldn't do it because of the schedule of Kyle Pitts and stuff. So weird way to make your trade, but whatever, didn't work. I'm glad it didn't work because Sanders is hurt and Pitts looks like he's coming up to be no questionable starting tight end. You just start him every week. You don't even look at the matchup. You start Kyle Pitts. So hopefully that's the way he's trending. But anyway, that was really everything in the beginning of week 8. So that was week 7 as well. I hope you all enjoy the Commish message. Again, sorry for no Cone's Corner. Cone has had a mental breakdown, and I can't pull him off the edge. Nothing I do or say. He's ghosted me. He doesn't take my calls or texts. So if anyone has any info on how he's doing or where he might be, you can go ahead and share it on the thread, and I'm sure people would be interested to know, because he was a beloved part of PPH until he had his mental breakdown. So anyway, all right, y'all. Good luck in week 8, and I'll catch you next week. Peace.